Archana Mataji, you're reading it, no, Mataji?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Mataji.
Okay, let's start. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudírayat. नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवते उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टकी मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं चैतन्यमीश्वरम् ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुं मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमः ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणि निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणि जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Om Tassat. Hare Krishna. Thank you all for joining Bhagavatam study. We are studying Bhagavatam first canto, chapter 11, text 31 today. Let's go ahead. Read.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Pranams, Prabhuji.
Pranamataji.
Yeah. Text 31. Patyanaha pati prokshaha gruhano pagatam vilokya sajja.
Lokya sajata mano mahatsavaha.
I read, shall I recite?
Yeah,
Okay.
please go.
हरे कृष्ण श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। पत्न्यै पतिं प्रोष्य ग्रहानुपागतं विलोक्य सश्चत मनो महोत्सवा उतस्तुररत् सहस्नायत साक्ष्यं वृतैर्वृद्धलोचनानः। अर्चना माताजी का।
Yeah. Thank you, Mataji. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada. The queens of Lord Sri Krishna rejoiced within their minds to see their husbands home after a long period abroad. The queens got up at once from their seats and meditation. As was socially customary, they covered their faces shyly and looked about coyly. Purport. As mentioned above, the Lord entered his home palaces occupied by 16,108 queens. This means that the Lord at once expanded himself in as many preliminary expansions as there were queens and palaces and entered in each and every one of them simultaneously and separately. Here is another manifestation of the feature of his eternal potency. He can expand himself in as many forms of spiritual identity as he desires. Even though he is one without a second, it is confirmed by the Shruti mantra that the Absolute is one alone, and yet he becomes many as soon as he so desires. These manifold expansions of the Supreme Lord are manifested as preliminary and separated portions. The separated portions are representation of his energy, and the preliminary portions are manifestation of his personality. Thus, the personality of Godhead manifested himself in 16,108 preliminary expansion and simultaneously entered into each and every one of the palaces of the queens. This is called Vaibhava or the transcendental potency of the Lord. And because he can do so, he is also known as Yogeshwara, ordinarily a yogi or a mystic living being. is able to expand himself at most to tenfold expansion of his body. But the Lord can do so to the extent of as many thousands or infinitely as he likes. Unbelievers become astonished to learn that the Lord Krishna married more than 16,000 queens because they think of Lord Krishna as one of them and measure the potency of the Lord by their own limited potency. One should know, therefore, that the Lord is never on the level of living beings, who are but expansion of his marginal potency, and one should never equalize the potent and the potency, although there is very little difference of quality between the potency and the potent and the potency. The queen were also expansion of his internal potency, and thus the potent and the potencies are perpetually exchanging transcendental pleasures known as pastimes of the Lord. One should not therefore become astonished to learn that the Lord married so many wives. On the contrary, one should affirm that even if the Lord marries 16,000 million wives, he is not completely manifesting his unlimited and inexhaustible potency. He married only 16,000 wives, entered in each and every one of the different palaces, just to impress in the history of the human beings on the surface of the earth that the Lord is never equal to or less than any human being, however powerful he may be. No one, therefore, is either equal to or greater than the Lord. The Lord is always greater in all respects. God is great, is eternal truth. Therefore, as soon as the queens saw from a distance their husband who was away from the home for long periods due to the battle of Kurukshetra, they all arose from the slumber of meditation and prepared to receive their most beloved. According to Venjan Vallakya's religious injunction, a woman whose husband is away from home should not take part in any social functions, should not decorate her body, should not laugh, and should not go to any relative's house in any circumstances. This is the vow of the ladies whose husbands are away from home. At the same time, it is also enjoined that a wife should never present herself before the her husband in an unclean state. She must decorate herself with ornaments and good dress and should always be present before the husband in a happy and joyous mood. The queens of Lord Krishna were all in meditation, thinking of the Lord's absence, and were always meditating upon him. The Lord's devotees cannot live for a moment without meditating on the Lord. And what to speak of the queens, who were all goddess of fortune incarnated as the queens in the pastimes of the Lord at Dwarka. They can never be separated from the Lord either by the presence or by trance. The gopis and Vrindavana could not forget the Lord when the Lord was away in the forest cowherding. When the Lord boy Krishna was absent from the village, the gopis at home used to worry about him, transversing the rough ground with his soft lotus feet. By thinking thus, they were sometimes overwhelmed in trance and mortified in the heart. Such is the condition of the pure associates of the Lord. They are always in trance, and so the queens were in trance during the absence of the Lord. Presently, having seen the Lord from a distance, they at once gave up all their engagements, including the vows of woman, as described above. According to Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, there was a regular psychological reaction on the occasion. First of all, arising from their seat, although they wanted to see their husband, they were deterred because of feminine shyness. But due to strong is,
Ecstasy.
ecstasy, they overcame
Ecstasy.
that ecstasy, they overcome that stage of weakness and become caught up with the idea of embracing the Lord. And this thought factually made them unconscious of their surrounding environment. This primary state of ecstasy annihilated all other formalities and social convention, and thus they escaped all stumbling blocks on the path of meeting the Lord. And that is the perfect stage of meeting the Lord of their soul, Sri Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Prabhupada ki jai.
Wonderful purport Srila Prabhupada has given. Very, very elaborate purport. So here the queens, because Lord is coming, as soon as the Lord comes, their beloved husband and Supreme Lord, he comes. When he comes, they they were meditating. Writes that they were in a deep slumber of meditation. So one may ask what they were meditating. They were always meditating on Lord Krishna. So they are always thinking about Krishna, always that mood. So the queens got up at once from their seats and meditation. So now when Lord came, they wanted to go and embrace him. So, that's a mood like Srila Prabhupada writes later. So but there is a social customs, ladies how we behave in front of men. So whole purport Srila Prabhupada elaborately explains here, how ladies behave in social customs in front of men and in other places. So the point here, few points Prabhupada makes that, so it says that Lord entered each and every one of the palace simultaneously and separately. So the discussion about he's married 16,108 wives. So Prabhupada brings out the topic. Somebody may say that why Lord did that, or how can Lord do that? Lord is immoral, this kind of a point. So here the first and foremost point that he expanded himself 16,108 at the same time, and each palace you were doing different activity. So this has been confirmed by Narada Muni also. Narada Muni, when he visited Dwaraka, he saw each palace Krishna is doing some, different activities in different palaces. So he simultaneously is there in different places. So if somebody says that if Krishna can marry, why not me? So first you prove that you can expand, forget 16, forget possible 1, which is not possible. So that's the first. And another point is that Prabhupada brings out that why 16,000? He could marry 16 million. So because everything belongs to him. So this question was asked to Srila Prabhupada once. So somebody asked Srila Prabhupada, so why Krishna has married 16,000 and he is immoral? Prabhupada says, not he, you are immoral. Every wife, every lady belongs to Krishna. That's the point Srila Prabhupada makes. The point that every jiva, the duty is to serve Krishna. So he is the only Purusha and everybody is Stri in that perspective. So he is the enjoyer. We are all enjoyed. So that's the point Srila Prabhupada makes. And also he says, he does as soon as it desires. It's so easy. He doesn't require anything to expand himself. He doesn't require any big machines. As soon as he desires, he expand himself. So again, Prabhupada brings that point that simultaneously he was there in the different palaces. And also Prabhupada brings out that one should never equalize the potent and potency, although there is very little difference in quality between potent and potency. Krishna is a potent, his energies are potency. Simultaneously, he has got energies, but at the same time, there's a difference. The energy, the potency coming from Krishna, who is potent, like sun god and sunlight, there is a difference. But at the same time, it's not different because the light is coming directly from sun. For example, the morning when the sunlight comes, we many times say that sun has come. It doesn't say sunlight has come because there's no much difference. But at the same time, there's difference because the light is coming from the sun, who is the source of everything. So that's the point here. Similarly, everything come from Krishna, and so there is no difference between he and his energies. He is a potent. All the energies are his potency. So here also Prabhupada brings out how the ladies are welcomed. They arose from the slumber of meditation and prepared to receive the most beloved. So Krishna was away from the Dwaraka for quite some time because of Dastinapur and Mahabharata war and things like that. So they were all missing. They were all in the deep meditation thinking about him, when Lord will appear. Similarly, we see that when Lord is away from Vrindavan, all the gopis always thinking about Krishna, always the meditation of Krishna. So again, what is the lesson for us as a practicing devotees? We should always think about Krishna. Manmana madbhakto madhyaji mama manaskuru. So manmana, so always think about Krishna, always in that mood. That's why Prabhupada named ISKCON as an International Society for Krishna Consciousness. We should be always conscious of Krishna, always think about Krishna, always think about how can I serve, how can I do better service. This is the consciousness. So we always should miss, if one day I didn't get service, one day I could not do something, I should regret, oh, today I did not do anything, today I have not done any service. That should be the mood. That will help to bring up the level. So all the gopis and even the ladies of Dwaraka, they were always meditating, thinking, how can I serve the Supreme Lord? So here Prabhupada brings our Lord's devotees cannot live for a moment without meditating on the Lord. So that is the quality of a pure devotees. Again, as a sadhaka, practicing devotees, we should develop that mood, or we should aspire to reach that level. Yes, every second I should think, how can I serve? How can I do something for the Lord? That should be the mood. And if any simple reason we miss, we should feel like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Yughaitam Nimishena. He says, without your association, if I miss 1 second, it's like a yuga for me. But when there is a service for him, whole yuga looks like a 1 nimsha for me. So that is the understanding. Prabhupada also says that when Lord, as a boy, Krishna was absent from the village, the gopis at home used to worry about him traversing through the rough ground with the soft lotus feet. So all the gopis would always think, what will happen to Krishna? How will he walk in the forest? His lotus feet is so smooth, small, soft. In that ground, there is so many stones, so many the thrones. How Lord will walk? So their meditation is that. Similarly, we as practical devotees always should think, how can I serve him? That's the mood in which we should think. Prabhupada finally says that the prime state of ecstasy annihilated all other formalities and social conventions. So when there is a pure love, there are no other formalities. But to reach that level, we should develop formality, because that's why we are in a sadhana bhakti. Sadhana means I should do my sadhana, chanting the holy name, reading Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, and deity worship, and offering bhoga to the Lord, and take only Krishna Prasad, and do preaching, book distribution, prasad distribution, whatever the services. These are my sadhana. These are the sadhana will increase my ecstasy to serve him. So that's why he says, but once reach that level beyond this one, beyond the Shuddha Sattva, then we are beyond this, the formalities. So that's why he says the prime state of ecstasy annihilated all other formalities and social conventions, and thus they escaped all stumbling blocks on the path of meeting the Lord. So they literally wanted to go and embarrass him, but of course they don't do that. They send their sons. So sons are not different. Later, but Srila Prabhupada explains this one. Okay, we'll read the next sloka. Who is reading 32?
Mariappan Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I will read.
Go ahead.
Read the Sanskrit version, Prabhuji.
Okay, Mata.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. तमात्मजै दृष्टिभिरन्तरात्मन दुरन्ता भावापरिरिभिर्पतिं निरुदमपि अश्रवदम्बुनेत्र्योर् विलजात् मामं भृगुवर्यवैक्लवात्. Hare Krishna. Please continue, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada Jai. The insuperable ecstasy was so strong that the queens who were shy first embraced the Lord in the innermost recesses of their hearts. Then they embraced him visually, and then they sent their sons to embrace him, which is equal to personal embracing. But woe, chief amongst the bogus, though they tried to restrain their feelings, they inadvertently shed tears. purport. Although due to feminine shyness, there were many hindrances to embracing the dear husband, Lord Sri Krishna. The queens performed that act by seeing him, by putting him in the course of their hearts, and by sending their sons to embrace him. Still, the act remained unfinished, and tears rolled down their cheeks despite all endeavors to check them. Only indirectly embraces the husband by sending the son to embrace him because the son is developed as part of the mother's body. The embrace of the son is not exactly the embrace of husband and wife from the sexual point of view, but the embrace is satisfaction from the affectionate point of view. The embrace of the eyes is more effective in conjugal relation, and thus, according to Srila Jiva Goswami, there is nothing wrong in such an exchange of feeling between husband and wife. Hare Krishna.
Bhagavad Gita.
Srila Prabhupada
So,
Jai.
further explains how the feelings of this wives. So, as a wives, they were inseparable ecstasy was so strong that the queens were, of course, they were shy, but they were ready to embrace him. But their shyness, the social custom stopped. So, the different levels, they embraced him the heart. This is the most important. So, as a practice devotees, we should keep Lord in our heart. Lord in our heart means we should carry the Lord wherever we go. Because when the Lord is in our heart, of course, Lord is there and Paramatma in our heart, but we should be conscious of it. That's the difference, right? So, Lord is there in every jiva, every living entity is as Paramatma. But are we conscious of him? If we are conscious of Lord is in our heart, our behavior changes. Because suppose I'm doing something, if somebody is watching, some police or somebody is watching, I will behave properly. Similarly, Lord as Paramatma is watching me. As Chaitya Guru or Paramatma is watching me. But I'm not bothered. I do all kind of nonsense. But that should be my attitude. Yes, Supreme Lord is my heart. He is watching me. So I should behave properly. I should, do my sadhana nicely. Because even if I cheat, whom am I going to cheat? I can cheat so many other people, but I cannot cheat Supreme Lord. Supreme Lord cannot be cheated. He knows what I'm doing. He knows what I'm thinking. He knows what I'm going to do future also. So I cannot cheat Supreme Lord. So I should be very, very careful and should be serious on my devotional service. That's why the Dwarkavasis, the ladies, the first put him on the corner of their heart. That's a sweet mellows they are enjoying. Then they embrace visually. Visually means again not with the hands, the eyes contact is really is the wonderful. Many times the many messages been passed to just eye contact. Many would have experienced either a boy or girl, the love or whatever. The eye contact, or even in the argument, the eye contact, the way the person looks, or in the traffic, if something goes wrong, the person just look at once. The eye gives us so many messages. Could be anger or could be the pleasing. Both gives a very nice message. So that's why the eyes, they embraced visually, and then they send their sons. Because due to social custom, they could not go and embrace Supreme Lord. So they send their sons. Sons non-different from mother, because son is developed the body of mother. The embracing of the son is equivalent to their own embracement. Of course, Prabhupada brings out not in the physical point of view. This is all the emotional bhakti point of view. So that's why Prabhupada says the act seeing him by putting him on the course of their heart and sending their sons embrace. These are non-different. So also Prabhupada brings out the point here. A second. So embrace of eyes is more effective in the conjugal relationship. And thus, according to Srila Jiva Goswami, there is nothing wrong in such an exchange of feeling between husband and wife. So this again, that's why Prabhupada has given 4 regular principles, like, no meat eating, no intoxication, no illicit sex. Or the illicit sex means not just the physical, even for, emotional or the verbal. That's also comes here. So that's why Prabhupada, Jiva Goswami is saying that between husband and wife, that is okay. Like, the eye contact or this one. But outside, they should be avoided. Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakura writes here, Krishna entered each of the palaces of queens simultaneously in many forms. When each saw him, they thought, Krishna has come to me first. So each gopis thinking that the wives of Krishna thinking that Krishna is only with me. And yes, Krishna come to me. But he has gone to all 108 simultaneously. When each saw him, they thought Krishna has come to me first. This verse describes the reaction of queens. The mind became filled with a great joy, and this is the initial desire. Then they rose from their seats and from their hearts. Then they glanced him from the sides of their eyes. So this is the explanations what purport Srila Prabhupada has given. Further explained, they then noticed an obstacle in the form of bashfulness or shyness. They therefore gave up their minds, which were dwelling in the place of the bashfulness. Bashfulness means shyness, and embraced him with their souls. They completely overlooked their bodies and minds. Seeing their beloved, suddenly they fainted out of the bliss of prema arising from their touch from him because of the in fainting. As with the deep sleep, loss of consciousness, there is no obstruction in the mind. So again, this is the relation between a devotee and the Lord. It is not a sexual relationship. That is not because the husband-wife. They are purely on transcendental. There is no material, there is no bodily thinking. That is a point we need to understand. Even similarly, the gopis of Vrindavan, there is no physical relationship. That's all pure bhakti, serve the Supreme Lord. So that's why Vishnu Chakravarti further writes here, in absence of from her husband, their wives should give up their recreation. So this is the point also explained above in the previous purport. So finally, the point is that we as a practice devotees, we should develop this kind of a mood. Of course, we don't have to imitate the gopis. We cannot imitate the gopis. Gopis are such a highly elevated, transcendent personalities. But the lesson we should learn is that, yes, I should do some service. I should do something pleasing to the Supreme Lord. That's only my duty. That's only my job, to please the Supreme Lord. That the mood I should develop. When that mood is there, my chanting improves. I should chant nicely. The whole purpose of chanting, we are asking, Hey Radhe, please engage me in Krishna's service. So when we chant nicely, the service comes. Service we should accept wholeheartedly, because when we do service only, we can please Krishna. Yesterday, one Mataji was asking, so after going to Goloka Vrindavan, what shall we do? What is our job there? So in Golaka Vrindavan, there is no engineer, there is no accountant required. They require only the servant. The main service is to take care of cows, cook for the Krishna and the devotees, and keep the cleanness. That's the service. So similar service we should practice here. Prabhupada says ISKCON is a training center. We should practice here and get trained so that when you go back to Goloka Vrindavan, we can do service. If I don't do any service, if I just sit and do my supervisor, I will not have any entry there. I cannot go back. If I have to go back, I have to do my services sincerely, seriously. With this, I'll stop here. Devotees can share their thoughts or comments. Please go ahead. Yes, who want to start? Yeah, Shruti Mata, you want to start?
Okay, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. So basically what we understood is when Krishna entered the palaces, all the queens were very excited. They wanted to embrace him, but because of shyness and societal rules, they couldn't embrace him. So they were always engaged in his service, and we also should be always engaged in Krishna's service and always keep him in his heart. So, and also these queens, they try to embrace him through their eyes. So, as you told, eyes reflect the mood of our heart. They tell whether we are in love towards a person, or when we are angry, we can see. Even they tell, right, when you're telling a lies, you cannot look into another person's eyes because you're ashamed. You look this side, that side. You don't keep an eye contact. So, eyes reflect the complete story of our heart or whatever inner feeling is there. And Krishna knows what we are doing, what we are thinking, everything he knows. He can find out very well. He knows our past, present, future. He's omniscience and he knows everything. So even if they, even through their looks, they send their sons to embrace Krishna, Krishna knows that they actually wanted to embrace him, but they were all doing meditation in absence of Krishna, because they were unlike, they tell that maybe people who might have in the absence of their husband illicit relations and all, so that is not good, and that should be avoided. And they should spend the time thinking of their, they spend their time, all these queens spend their time thinking of Krishna only and meditating on him, on their pastime. Many people will think that Krishna married so many wives, how could then even they can marry few women and all the stuff. Krishna could expand. Krishna had so many avatars, and Krishna was only present in all of them. It was not for his thing. He was present in each and every palace individually for each of the wife. Nowadays, people can't take care of one wife only properly. When how they take care of 16,100. So it should not be taken in a wrong view that Krishna had a conjugal relationship with so many people and it is not good and all those stuff. Because many times we see in the movies and all, they make fun, Ras Leela, this, that, and all those stuff. That Krishna did Ras Leela. Oh, then if a man is having other relationship with so many women, they tell, oh, you are like Krishna because you are having so many relationships. But that is not the thing. Krishna had, what he had was a divine love, and he did not do it with the sense enjoyment purpose. And also it is known that around 60,000 people were captured by this Asura over there. And when they felt that those people, when Krishna killed that Asura, he had like,
Narakasura.
yeah, Narakasura, and these ladies told that now nobody will marry them and nobody will honor them. If they go back to their house, they won't get the respect. Their fathers will not accept them. So Krishna, instead of telling that, okay, like in the case of Rama, we see that Rama, Sita was pointed one finger by one washerman. Rama sent Sita out of the house. But in case of Krishna, we see that he's so loving. When he saw that these people will not be honored, he told that I will marry you and I will accept you as wife. So this shows that Krishna held a lot of love for all his devotees, and he did not care that what others think of their character and all. What he feels, when he thinks the purity of their heart, he will accept any devotees. And in Bhagavad Gita also he tells that even if person has done a lot of sins, even if he is a dog eater, this, that, but he leaves all these activities and surrenders to me, I will always accept him. I will not reject him, telling that, oh, you have done this, you have done that, so you're. But when you surrender, you have to have a pure heart and surrender it. Once you surrender, he will take care. It's not that like in these things we see that in our judicial system, when a person surrenders, he is punished and all, and again that person might commit. But Krishna is not like that. Krishna sees the devotee's heart, he knows their inner feelings, and he accepts them irrespective of whatever thing they have done. So that does not mean we can keep on doing sins. But once we have felt that yes, what we have done is wrong, and we accept it and surrender to him, then he will remove all the sins that we have done, and he will accept us unconditionally. That is what here also we see in all these cases. Also, Krishna's love, he could understand through their eyes itself. They loved him unconditionally and they loved him a lot. So all this is told here. That's what I understood, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Lakshmi Mataji, anything you want to add?
Only one thing, Prabhuji. From this, what we come to know is that we should do sadhana bhakti. We should do small services, at least small services. And then we should keep Lord in our heart always, And we should also be conscious about it because God is Sakshi Bhuta. He is inside our heart and He is watching us all the time. So primarily what we should do is at least we should chant properly and nicely to get this sadhana bhakti. The primary level is chanting, Prabhuji. So we must start from this.
Yes, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Mariappan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Today's take-home message for me is I must always thinking about Krishna. I must always aspire for serving Lord Krishna. Gopis used to worry about feet of Lord in a complete affection. Pure love on Lord is the need of the hour. And services like book distribution, sharing Krishna conscious among non-Krishna devotees should be given top priority, and I must do my services to Lord. I must think about what are all the services possible. ISKCON is the training center, and I must take up the complete training and prepare myself to practice and prepare myself to take up all available services to Lord. And the Lord is in, I must realize Lord is in my heart, and I must realize that the Lord is in my heart and behave appropriately in every respect. Relation between Lord and the devotees are absolutely transcendental. My mood always aspire for service to Lord. And as already told, ISKCON is the training center, and I must practice myself to take up any available services and deliver it out to every possible moment. I must be able to serve the Lord. That is the understanding, Lord.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Babuji. Hare Krishna.
Archana Mataji, anything on that?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
No, Mataji.
Yeah, I understood how the queens welcomed Krishna and how they were happy. This, I mean, yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji, for the
Thank
class.
you. Asha Mataji.
Pranams Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. Sorry for joining late. I was caught up with something.
Okay.
But from what I heard is I should sincerely chant, which will help me to read Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam and do other services sincerely. I should be always thinking of doing something that pleases the Supreme. Chanting is the initial stage. And then I should have that mode where I feel regretted if I am not doing anything, even a day. That should be my mode in order to progress in bhakti. That's all, Prabhuji. Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So thank you all. So we'll end here now. Panchakalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhuvyavacha padidana pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo. Ananta koti Vaishnava vrinda ki jai. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Samaveta Bhakta vrinda ki jai. See you
Thank you,
tomorrow.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Possible, please inspire others also join. Please send some messages today. Please to all the groups. Please. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.